A gynecologist's guide, 3 everyday foods to enhance pelvic circulation after 60. Have you ever taken a moment to notice that your body simply feels different after the age of 60? Not just in your joints or your overall energy levels, but in the most private and intimate parts of yourself. A great many women confide in me, Dr. Stones, I had just assumed that poor circulation down there was an unavoidable part of getting older. I thought there was absolutely nothing that I could do about it. But what if I were to tell you that certain everyday foods that you can easily find in your local grocery store, can actually help to restore healthy blood flow, to significantly improve your physical comfort, and to truly reignite your sense of vitality in the years following menopause? I am Dr. Lily Stones, a gynecologist with more than 3 decades of dedicated experience supporting women through the transitions of menopause and beyond. And today we are going to talk about something that is very rarely discussed, but which is deeply and profoundly important: the state of your circulation down there after the age of 60. Because here is the unvarnished truth: when your blood flow begins to slow down, everything in your life can start to feel harder. Your energy levels will dip, your physical performance may weaken, the experience of intimacy can become uncomfortable, and your self-confidence can quietly begin to fade away. But when you actively work to support a state of healthy circulation, you are not just protecting your intimate health, you are also boosting your overall vitality. Think of your body's circulatory system as being like the intricate network of roads and highways that connect a bustling city. When the city is new, traffic flows freely and easily, but over the course of time, with natural wear and tear, some of those roads can become congested or narrowed, which slows down the entire flow of traffic. Your body works in a very similar way. After the onset of menopause, your natural estrogen levels will begin to drop, and as a result, the delicate blood vessels that once carried a rich supply of blood to your pelvic region can begin to stiffen and become less efficient. That loss of healthy circulation does not just affect your physical comfort, it also has a significant impact on your energy, your mood, and even your bladder health. But here is the wonderfully hopeful news: just as a city can work to clear its congested roadways, you can actively nourish your own blood vessels with the right kinds of foods. One of my patients, Teresa, who was 68 years of age, once confided in me that the experience of intimacy had become so profoundly uncomfortable for her that she had begun to avoid it completely. She had genuinely thought that this was the end of that particular part of her life. But after we worked together to adjust her diet, including incorporating some of the very same foods that I will be sharing with you today, she later told me, Dr. Stones, I can feel a sense of warmth again. I feel truly alive again. Her story is by no means an unusual one, and the science fully supports her experience. According to both the Mayo Clinic and the Cleveland Clinic, certain specific foods are incredibly rich in powerful compounds like flavonoids, nitrates, and various antioxidants that are known to help relax the blood vessels, to reduce systemic inflammation, and to significantly improve your overall circulation. These are not exotic or hard-to-find superfoods. They are everyday items that you might already love, but which you may have never realized were actively helping you from the inside out. So in this video, I am going to reveal to you the top 3 foods that are proven to help boost your circulation down there after the age of 60. I will explain to you exactly how each one of these foods works. I will detail the science that lies behind its benefits, and I will show you the very best way to begin adding it to your daily meals. And I will also be sure to share some of the most common mistakes that can keep women from getting the most benefit from these foods, so that you can effectively avoid them. But before we dive in, allow me to ask you something. Have you ever noticed that your hands or your feet tend to get cold quite easily? Or have you ever felt a profound lack of energy, even after what feels like a full night of uninterrupted sleep? Those very same circulation issues can also be happening down there, often completely silently, until they begin to affect your confidence and your daily comfort. Now, I want you to imagine if just 3 simple, everyday foods could begin to change all of that. What would that mean for your mornings, for your energy levels, and even for your personal relationships? Please stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will not only know which specific foods to begin adding to your plate, but you will also understand why they matter so very much for women over the age of 60 who want to remain vibrant, confident, and deeply connected. And I would be so honored to hear from you. What is one particular food that you already eat that makes you feel energized or vibrantly alive? Please share it with me in the comments section. You may just be the person who inspires another woman to begin to rediscover her own vitality. Before I reveal the top 3 foods that can truly and effectively boost your circulation down there, let's first take a moment to talk about some of the most common mistakes that I see women who are over the age of 60 make when it comes to the connection between their diet and their blood flow. Because here is the undeniable truth. Many of you are already trying your very best. You are making an effort to eat healthy, you are adding new foods to your diet, and you are cutting back on others. But sometimes the very choices that you think are helping you may actually be holding you back. Mistake number 1 is choosing healthy foods that are in fact highly processed. So many women will tell me, "Stones, I made the switch to packaged energy bars, to heart-healthy cereals, or to those flavored yogurts, because the labels on the box said that they were low-fat or high in fiber." But when we take a closer look at the ingredients, those very same products are often loaded with added sugars, with excessive amounts of sodium, or with a host of artificial preservatives that can actually work to stiffen your blood vessels instead of helping them to relax. The Cleveland Clinic has clearly shown that diets that are high in processed foods will invariably increase the levels of inflammation in the body, which in turn can serve to narrow your crucial circulation pathways. One of my patients, Linda, who was 70 years old, genuinely thought that she was doing the right thing for her health with her daily consumption of low-fat yogurt cups. But in reality, those cups were absolutely filled with sugar, which was leaving her feeling more tired and bloated than ever. When she made the simple switch to consuming plain Greek yogurt with a handful of fresh berries, her energy levels noticeably improved. Mistake number 2 is relying too heavily on supplements instead of on whole natural foods. Now please do not get me wrong, supplements can certainly be useful in certain situations, but all too often, I will see women who are taking a variety of capsules of circulation boosters or superfood extracts, all while completely neglecting the real thing: whole, fresh, and unprocessed foods. Here is the fundamental problem with that approach. Your body is designed to absorb and to utilize nutrients very differently when they come naturally packaged with fiber, with water, and with a whole host of other natural compounds that are found in real food. Supplements simply cannot fully mimic that incredible synergy. According to the Mayo Clinic, the beneficial flavonoids that are found in foods like berries or in pure cocoa will always work best when they are consumed in their natural whole food form. Mary, a 68-year-old patient of mine, was spending over $60 a month on a variety of different circulation pills. But when she made the simple switch to just eating a handful of fresh berries every single day, both her circulation and her digestion noticeably improved. Mistake number 3 is expecting to see instant results and then giving up far too soon. This is perhaps the biggest and most common trap of all. A great many women will try adding some spinach to their diet, or a few nuts, or some fish for just a single week, and will then declare that it didn't change anything at all. But the health of your circulatory system does not transform overnight. Just as with the process of strengthening a muscle, you absolutely need to be consistent with your efforts. The National Institutes of Health, NIH, constantly reminds us that it is our long-term dietary habits and not our one-off meals that will ultimately determine the state of our vascular health. Teresa, one of my patients, almost completely quit her new food plan after just 2 weeks because she did not feel any younger. I gently encouraged her to stick with it for at least a full month. By the 6th week of her new routine, she came back and told me, "I can now feel a sense of warmth in my feet. I feel so much lighter in my body, and I am so much more comfortable during moments of intimacy." Her consistency was the absolute key to her success. So here is the main point that I want you to take away from this. If you are currently eating a diet that is heavy in processed health foods, if you are relying too much on pills and supplements, or if you are giving up on new habits too soon, you are actively missing out on the opportunity to truly transform your circulatory health. And when your circulation begins to falter, it is not just your hands and your feet that will feel it. It is your energy, it is your mood, it is your bladder health, and yes, it is your capacity for intimacy. The wonderful news is that you do not need to seek out any exotic superfoods or to embark on any expensive and complicated regimens. Just 3 simple, everyday foods can make a truly powerful and positive difference when you begin to add them to your diet on a consistent basis. And in the next part of our discussion, I will share with you exactly what those foods are, I will explain how they work, and I will show you the very best way to begin to use them in your own daily life. But before we go there, I would be so honored to ask you, have you ever tried a particular healthy food trend that ended up disappointing you? Perhaps it was a supplement, a packaged product, or something that you thought would help to boost your energy, but which ultimately did not. Please share your story with me in the comments. It just might be the very thing that helps another woman to avoid making the same mistake. Now let's get to the very heart of today's important video. The top 3 foods that can naturally and effectively boost the circulation in your pelvic region after the age of 60. These are not exotic ingredients or expensive and hard to find powders. They are simple, everyday foods that are fully backed by science and that you can easily begin to add to your meals in order to support a healthy blood flow, to increase your energy, and to enhance your overall sense of vitality. Food number 1 is fatty fish, particularly those that are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, such as salmon, sardines, or mackerel. Why does this matter? Because omega-3 fatty acids are known to help keep your blood vessels flexible, to reduce systemic inflammation, and to improve your overall vascular function. According to the Mayo Clinic, diets that are rich in omega-3s are consistently linked with a healthier state of circulation, with lower blood pressure, and with better overall heart health, all of which will directly and positively affect the flow of blood down there. How can you use this? Aim to consume at least 2 servings of fatty fish per week. A simple meal of grilled salmon with a side of vegetables, some sardines served on top of a piece of whole grain toast, or even a simple tuna salad can make a significant and positive difference. I have a patient story to share with you. Evelyn, who was 71 years of age, once told me that she often felt a sense of coldness during moments of intimacy, and she had simply assumed that this was a normal part of the aging process. But after she began to incorporate salmon into her diet twice a week, she noticed that a sense of both warmth and physical sensitivity had begun to return to her. She later said to me, "I had no idea that simply eating fish could help me to feel so alive again." Food number 2 is a variety of different berries, such as blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries. Why do these matter? Because berries are incredibly rich in a group of powerful antioxidants, known as flavonoids, which are known to help relax the blood vessels and to improve your overall circulation. The Cleveland Clinic has reported that flavonoid-rich diets are consistently associated with a better state of vascular health and with an improved response in terms of intimate function. How can you use these foods? Simply add a handful of fresh or frozen berries to your morning oatmeal, to your yogurt, or to a smoothie. Even just a daily snack of a bowl of mixed berries can do absolute wonders for your health. I have another patient story to share with you. Teresa, who was 68 years old, had been relying on a variety of different circulation supplements, with very little effect. But when she made the simple switch to consuming a cup of blueberries each and every morning, her energy levels noticeably improved, and she also felt a great deal less stiffness in her hips. "It's as if my body has finally remembered how to move again," she said to me. Food number 3 is beets and beet juice. Why do these matter? Because beets are naturally high in a group of compounds known as nitrates, which are converted into nitric oxide within the body. Nitric oxide is a powerful compound that works to widen your blood vessels, to increase the flow of blood, and to support your overall physical stamina. Studies that have been conducted by the National Institutes of Health have clearly shown that the consumption of beet juice can actually enhance your exercise performance, even in older adults. That very same increase in blood flow will also greatly benefit your pelvic region. How can you use this food? You can roast beets and serve them as a delicious side dish. You can blend them into your smoothies, or you can simply sip a small glass of pure beet juice a few times a week. I have another patient story for you. Margaret, who was 70 years of age, had been feeling very sluggish during her morning walks, but after she began to add a small glass of beet juice to her routine 3 times a week, she told me, "I don't just walk anymore, I now stride. My legs feel so much stronger, and I have even noticed that I have more energy in my private health too." So here is a quick recap for you. Fatty fish will provide you with the essential omega-3s that you need to keep your blood vessels open and flexible. Berries will flood your body with powerful flavonoids that will help to relax your blood vessels and to fight off inflammation. And beets will deliver a potent dose of natural nitrates that will help to pump up your blood flow in the very areas where it matters the most. Together, these 3 simple foods form a veritable circulation powerhouse. They do not just help to protect your heart, they also work to directly support your energy, your performance, and your vitality down there after the age of 60. And when your circulation begins to improve, women will often notice a greater sense of comfort, they will experience fewer issues with their bladder, and they may even feel a rekindled sense of intimacy. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Stones, do I really have to eat all three of these foods every single day? And the answer to that question is absolutely not. I would encourage you to start small. Simply pick one of these foods that you already enjoy, and begin to add it to your diet on a consistent basis. Over time you can then begin to weave the others in. Please remember, it is your consistency that will ultimately create the change that you are looking for, not a state of perfection. In the next part of our discussion, I will share with you some real-life transformation stories of women who were able to successfully improve their circulation and their vitality, simply by making some small adjustments to their diets. And I will also give you a powerful analogy that will help to show you why these small dietary changes can so often spark such big and wonderful results. But before we continue, I would be so honored to ask you, if you had to choose just one of these foods, the fish, the berries, or the beets, which one would you be the most willing to begin to add to your meals this week? Please share your answer with me in the comments section. Let me tell you about Nora, a 69-year-old retired nurse, who came to see me with a rather delicate complaint. She whispered to me, almost apologetically, "Dr. Stones, I just feel so numb down there. I had thought that maybe this is just what happens after the onset of menopause, but it is making me feel as though I have lost a very important part of myself." Nora had already tried using various lubricants and creams, but she was still left feeling cold, disconnected, and perpetually fatigued. When we took the time to carefully review her typical daily diet, I noticed that it was very heavy in bread, in coffee, and in various sweets, but it was almost completely lacking in the very nutrients that are known to support a healthy blood flow. I gently encouraged her to start with just 3 simple changes: to try to eat a serving of salmon twice a week, to have a handful of fresh berries each and every morning, and to drink a small glass of beet juice 3 times a week. At first she was quite doubtful. "Doctor," she asked, "do you really think that a few groceries are going to be able to fix this?" But within just 6 weeks of making these changes, she returned to my office with a smile that completely lit up the room. "I can feel a sense of warmth again," she said. "I feel so much more sensitive, and so much more alive, and it is not just down there. I have so much more energy in my whole body." For Nora, the food that she was eating was not just a source of fuel, it was a form of powerful medicine that was able to reopen the door to her own innate vitality. Her incredible story always reminds me of an analogy that I often share with my patients. The circulation in your body is very much like a winding and beautiful river. When you are young, that river will flow both fast and free, and it will work to nourish every single part of the surrounding land. But over the course of time, a certain amount of debris can begin to build up, the current of that river can begin to slow down, and the once vibrant fields that line its banks can begin to dry up. The foods that are rich in omega-3s, in flavonoids, and in nitrates act much like a gentle and a cleansing rainstorm. They work to clear away that accumulated debris, they help to deepen the current of the river, and they serve to bring a new sense of life back to the land. And suddenly the very same landscape that had once looked so barren can begin to bloom once again. Another one of my patients, Carmen, who was 72 years of age, described her own experience in this way. "After I started to add more berries and beets to my daily routine, it felt as though someone had finally turned the faucet back on. I had not even realized just how dry and how tired I had been feeling until that flow came back to me." Her powerful words perfectly capture what so many women are able to experience. The state of your circulation is not just about the prevention of disease, it is about the fundamental feeling of being awake, of being alive, and of being deeply connected to your own body. And here is the even deeper truth: when your blood flow begins to improve, it does not just help with the experience of intimacy, it also touches every single part of your life. Your daily walks will begin to feel easier, your quality of sleep will deepen, your overall mood will begin to lift, and you will start to be able to trust your own body again, instead of living in a state of fear of it. That is why I always say that the state of your circulation is the quiet and often overlooked key to aging, not just gracefully, but vibrantly. Nora told me something during her very last visit that I will never ever forget. She said, "I had always thought that the process of aging simply meant that I would have to fade away, but now I have come to realize that it is all about finding new and different ways to thrive." That is exactly what I want for every single woman who is listening to me today. So, as you take a moment to think about your own body, I want you to please picture that beautiful river, and I want you to ask yourself, Has the current of my river begun to slow down? Has the surrounding land begun to feel dry? And do I want that gentle, life-giving rain to return? Because with the help of the right kinds of foods, you can absolutely begin to invite that powerful and healing flow back into your own life, naturally, gently, and with a profound sense of purpose. In the final part of this video, I will recap everything that we have covered, the common mistakes to avoid, the 3 essential foods to embrace, and the incredible sense of hope that these small and simple changes can bring. And I will leave you with a message of deep encouragement that your own body, even after the age of 60, still holds an incredible capacity for strength, for vitality, and for intimacy, just waiting for you to unlock it. But before we move on, I would be so honored to know if your own personal river could once again flow freely and strongly. What is the one thing that you would most want to be able to experience? Would it be a greater sense of energy, a deeper experience of intimacy, or simply a lighter and a stronger feeling in your own body? Please share it with me in the comments section. We have covered a great deal of important ground today, and I would like to take just a moment now to bring everything together. We began our conversation with a question that far too many women who are over the age of 60 are quietly carrying with them. Is the experience of poor circulation down there just a normal part of the aging process? And the profound truth is that while the transition of menopause does indeed bring with it a host of changes, your innate sense of vitality does not have to fade away. The state of your circulation can absolutely be supported, and it can even be renewed, with the help of the right kinds of daily choices. We talked about the 3 most common mistakes that women make: relying too heavily on processed health foods, turning to supplements instead of to whole, natural foods, and giving up on new habits much too quickly. These common pitfalls can serve to rob so many women of the precious chance to truly and deeply nourish their own bodies. Then we began to reveal the top 3 foods that both science and my own clinical experience have shown can make a truly profound and positive difference. Fatty fish, such as salmon, which is incredibly rich in omega-3s that can help to keep your blood vessels both flexible and strong. A wide variety of berries, which are absolutely packed with powerful flavonoids that can help to relax your blood vessels and to fight off inflammation. And the humble beet, which is full of natural nitrates that can help to widen your blood vessels and to supercharge your circulation. Together, these 3 simple foods are able to form a simple yet powerful foundation for a healthier state of blood flow, not only to your heart and to your brain, but also to your most intimate and personal areas. And when your circulation begins to improve, women will often notice that they have more energy, that they experience less discomfort, that they have a stronger sense of pelvic health, and that they even feel a renewed sense of confidence in their own capacity for intimacy. We also heard the inspiring stories of women like Nora, who was able to feel a sense of warmth and of physical sensitivity return to her body, and of Carmen, who so beautifully described her own experience as feeling like someone had turned the faucet back on. These powerful stories serve as a poignant reminder to all of us that the food we eat is not just a source of fuel, it is also a form of potent medicine. It is a daily choice that has the power to bring a sense of comfort, of strength, and of profound joy back into your life. So what does all of this mean for you? It means that tomorrow morning, when you are standing in your own kitchen, you can begin to make the conscious choice to consume foods that will quietly and steadily work to restore your own innate vitality. This does not require any exotic supplements or any expensive and hard-to-find products. It simply requires a sense of awareness, a commitment to consistency, and a profound sense of trust in your own body's incredible ability to heal. Here is my personal encouragement to you. Please start small. Simply pick just one of these powerful foods. Perhaps it will be some berries with your breakfast, some salmon for your dinner, or a small glass of beet juice in the afternoon. And then I want you to try to stay consistent with that one small change for a few weeks. And as you do, I want you to please begin to notice how your energy levels begin to shift, how the quality of your sleep begins to feel, and even how your own body begins to respond in ways that you may not have even expected. If this video has resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to share it with a friend, a sister, or someone else in your life who may also be quietly struggling with a lack of energy or with issues of intimacy after the age of 60. And please do not forget to subscribe to Elder Care Wellness, where each and every week I share evidence-based guidance that is designed to help women to thrive through every single stage of their lives. Now I would be so honored to hear from you. Which of these 3 powerful foods do you feel the most excited to try first? Will it be the fatty fish, the berries, or the beets? Please leave your answer for me in the comment. Your personal choice may be the very thing that inspires another woman to take her own first step toward a better state of circulation and a greater sense of vitality. I'm Dr. Lily Stones, and I thank you for your time. And before we close, let me remind you this video is for educational purposes only. It does not replace medical advice. Every woman's body is unique. If you are experiencing pain, significant changes, or have personal concerns, please consult with your healthcare provider. Your well-being deserves personalized care.